Hello everyone, Oz here from Fantastic Forum, giving you another look at my package. Though, I really should change the name of that because I'm not really getting too many packages anymore. Doing a lot of these prints, so I don't know, should I start making videos on how I paint and print these? Let me know what you think. But for now, let's take a look at this custom Jessica Cruz yellow lantern, also available in green. Okay, so the files for this came from Trick or Treat 3D. You can find them on Patreon. And I was actually surprised. I was just kind of, randomly looking around, and I was surprised that somebody had a Sinestro Corps Jessica Cruz. And actually, I don't even think I saw the Sinestro Corps version first. I think I just saw the green version of her and clicked on it, and then immediately saw the yellow picture and just kind of fell in love. And this one, so for this one, the base, it's really simple, and it's got these two prongs here that are supposed to connect to the lantern. Now, I printed these kind of in a hurry as I was moving out of the old place, so when I actually put the lantern in here, they don't quite get to it, and I don't know if that's just because I set it up wrong, or I don't think it's part of the design. That doesn't really make sense. By the way, this front piece and this top piece here, they're separate pieces. They come out. Like, I have an extra one over here that I was just kind of messing around with. So I painted this just simply black. I was gonna make the gold parts more like the lantern, kind of this metal shiny version, but this is sprayed, and these I started brushing it just to kind of get a little bit of color on it before I actually went through and painted it. And actually, I kind of like this brushed gold look, and it separates it from the actual lantern. So I actually thought that was kind of cool and decided to just kind of leave it like that. I did try to make the metallic ring here, or the ring here, look more metallic, because I'm assuming it's supposed to be part of the lantern. So yeah. Then obviously the constructs, I made this actually, I had to make this clear yellow resin. There are a couple companies that sell clear yellow resin, but I remember when I was gonna buy it, it was priced at least double, maybe closer to 3 times what I usually pay for resin, because I buy really cheap resin, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on that. So I ended up adding a little bit of dye to some clear resin that I had left over. And actually, if anybody is ever interested in seeing how I make this and paint them, let me know. I actually made a lot of mistakes with this print specifically, the print and the paint. There's a lot of mistakes that I had to fix, and I think the final result came out pretty good. I learned a lot of lessons on how to fix screw ups, and I don't know, some people might be interested in that. Let me know, and maybe I'll start making some of the progress videos. That just kind of goes on there, and you line up the holes. This is the only issue I had. The flame comes in 2 pieces. Now, if this was a regular print, regular gray or whatever color you use, I think I could just kind of glue it here, sand it a little bit, and you wouldn't notice it. But because it's clear, it is kind of noticeable. Not so much on cam. Well, yeah, no, you can still see it a little bit on the camera there. And the second issue with this flame is you got to be careful how it goes on there, because the rocks have to go like in between there. So it's not a perfect fit. It is a perfect fit, but getting it in there is a little tricky. You can kind of see which rocks go where. And I could probably do some sand. Here, I move this. I could probably do some sanding on it to make it fit better. But I don't like doing that much work. So I think, see, I'm not even sure if I'm putting, yeah, it's this way. So you kind of have to just maneuver it in there, and then it just, once you actually get it right, it slides right in there. Put that back. I do plan on gluing this down because there's just a little bit of wobble there. And I think it's a combination of things. I never actually sanded this section down right. And I sanded the pegs in the hole a little bit. So a little bit of wobble, a little bit of glue will take care of that. And it goes there. And now I can't take her apart because I've already glued like the boots for sure. Yeah, she's already mostly glued together. But the boots, the arms, and the head, and these two are all separate pieces. So it makes it easier to point. This comes out too. And like I said, I have extra ones here because I printed them clear. And for some reason, I thought I was going to put a light in there and it was going to shine out really bright and cool. And never really got that far. I really do like this print. What really impressed me about Trick or Treat 3D is the attention to detail, because they got one thing right that a lot of people tend to miss. Even professional artists, I've had to tell them, hey, this is wrong, you got to fix it. And that's when she's a Sinestro, the ring and the symbol are on the opposite side. When she's green, they're on the right side. And they did this with both versions of this. If you buy it, you get both versions, where they actually had to do a whole nother head sculpt because the symbol is actually raised out. One of my mistakes when I was working on this is I couldn't get the skin tone quite right. And I would do it, I would look at it, it didn't look right, it looked too dark, too light, too whatever. And so I would just put another layer on it, and I got so many layers on this that the actual symbol was getting, it's raised up to make it easier to paint on there. I started to kind of like blend into there's just so many layers of paint on it. It kind of looks free-handed because of that. So again, that's more on me. If I would have, I don't know, cut some tape and maybe kept that tape while I was doing the other layers, I think I would have had an easier time. Another issue that I have with this print, this might just be one of my issues, is that right cheek. Like, it's, look at that. I think that's a little big. I understand she's got her leg raised, but it's bigger than the other one. And raising your leg is not gonna, I should say, normally doesn't do that. Doesn't make it that much bigger than the other cheek. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe he used an actual model or pictures of a model to sculpt this, but I've drawn a lot of women in a lot of poses, and I never see that much of a difference between one side and the other. So it's a small detail, but you know what? She's meant to be seen from the front anyway. So it's not something that, it's not a huge deal. Like, if I had this rotating, then there's like 3 or 4 seconds where it would look weird before it's finally back to normal. So if I was gonna do anything differently, it would probably be shave that down just a little bit more. But it's still a good sculpt, really good looking. Really, really happy with it. And yeah, Trick or Treat 3D, you guys are doing a good job. I recommend you guys go to their Patreon. A lot of different characters on there, and they have a Discord too where you get a lot of suggestion. Maybe they'll make it. So they have this one and the green version. You can also just buy these individually from them, but I always recommend checking out their Patreon. Either way, so go ahead and support these artists because they're doing great work. So until the next one, don't forget we stream live every Wednesday afternoon, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. We're talking comic, collectibles, just about any nerdy thing you can think about. Go ahead and join us on Twitch and YouTube. Join in the chat. We'll get your comments on live and have a conversation with us. So until then, go read some comics.